Hello everybody, just finished up this video on Nostradamus and his prophecies, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this idea I had while I watched the videos. So I think Nostradamus started predicting or started being able to do this type of prediction with prophecies based on organs, right? I don't think many people know that he was actually a physician, he was a doctor. So he had a lot of training, right? And he studied for many years. But the main thing is that he started to look at organs, right? Observe organs, and based on the organs, he was able to infer and make these type of predictions about the people, right? Like what their illnesses were going to be in the future, if they were going to recover or not. And I think this is a little bit tied down to his predictions that he eventually made for the future, right? So the way to do this is contemplating, right? Like I guess they said that he would gather around fire, right? And like along with other people, they would contemplate the fire, right? While they burn certain plants also. And this contemplation of the fire, excuse me, allowed them for hours to visualize like different types of things, right? And that's when he possibly made his predictions. So then the idea I had is that this is pretty much related to how we contemplate things, and not only contemplate things, but how we actually plan out things for the future. Because if you really think about it, what is a plan? A plan is a future action, it's a future intention, it's a future prediction, right? In other words, it is a prediction. It's something that you're trying to manifest in reality, right? It could be as simple as, what are you doing today? I'm going to work, right? Has that happened yet? No. And you're actually basing yourself on past evidence, like yesterday I went to work, so today, tomorrow I'm gonna go to work, right? But at the end of the day, it is a prediction, right? Now, this prediction can be as simple as that, right? What are you doing today? I'm working, I'm going to the movies. You know, my plan for this weekend is to have a barbecue with my family or whatever. But if you take that meditative, contemplative planning stage to like a more abstract, more collective, societal, you know, like what's gonna happen in this country in the next week, in the next couple of years, right? What's going to happen with the world in the next couple of 100,000 years, right? I think you will have intuitions. You will ideas will be delivered to you. You know, they say that all of these ideas are actually out there. They're not in us, they're out there, and we're just kind of like, you know, I guess we kind of access, or they come down on us. Like this idea just came down on me this morning, and I was actually like, whoa, that's kind of like when you plan things, right? Like you meditate. You know, what do you do when you plan things? You sit down, you know, and you say, okay, what things do I have to do today? I have to do this, I have to do that. How am I gonna do it? How is this going to, you know, which actually goes hand in hand with the self-fulfilling prophecy, right? If you think something is gonna happen, then it will most likely happen. Of course, this is deep rooted into a lot of beliefs that you have about life and about, you know, your way of living and everything, right? So you can't just say like, I want $1 million and I'm gonna have $1 million when you don't even believe that, right? Like what would it take for you to have $1 million? And that's when you start to kind of get at the core beliefs of people. Some people will tell you, well, to get $1 million you have to work very hard. Okay, work very hard in what? In a business. Okay, what type of business, right? And that, or other people will say, well, you have to create something, you have to invent something. Some people will say, well, you have to be a celebrity. Okay, what type of celebrity? An actor, a singer, right? So that's when you can, and then if you symbolically manifest that, you can actually like have that represented in real life. But so yeah, this planning stage is actually very meditative, which is actually a way of predicting the future, just like Nostradamus would do with his prophecies, right? Except he did it throughout basically his whole life and on a much broader scale, right? So you do it all the time with your immediate future, right? Just what are you gonna do today, this week, right? You this month, this year maybe. You have it all laid down, right? You have that prophecy already there. You have your predictions. You have your Nostradamus predictions already there, right? So yeah, all you need to really do is contemplate. Now, the difficult part is contemplating with with so much stimuli in our world constantly coming in at us from different, and just our anxiety attitude that we have towards life now, where we constantly have to be engaged in something, right? We can't just like, turn off everything and just sit there and contemplate and ask ourselves these important questions, right? Like, what do I want to do with my life? How can I get there? Because there's an easy tactic. It's actually something that I've learned throughout these past couple of months or years, where you actually just ask the question, right? Like, how can I do this? Or I want to know how to do this, and that's it, right? And then you go throughout your day, and then these like type of contemplative moments where you're like either in traffic or you're doing some mechanical routine thing, you'll get the answers, right? Like the answers will come down on you, and obviously you have to believe that they will too. If not, that won't happen, right? So yeah, I think that all of that is pretty interesting. Nostradamus, personally, like in the video, this guy said, I don't believe in his. I don't believe that he predicted the future. I believe he had visions, but when people, it's like he said, the guy in the video, when something happens in the world, right, like world events or historical events, they go to Nostradamus and they try to find where he said something related to that, right? And that's just like, associating what's happening with maybe one of his predictions. It could be that he meant that was going to happen, or it could be that he meant another thing, right? And since his predictions are written in a type of enigmatic, kind of mysterious, poetic type of way, so it's kind of hard to interpret that that's what he meant, right? And plus, he doesn't have years in it, so he doesn't say in 2023 this will happen, in 2024 this will happen. No, it's just like, I think there's like 1300 predictions he made. I think first he made like 500 in a book called Prophecies or something like that, and then he made like an additional 800 or 1,000 or something like that. So he made a lot of predictions, right? And but yeah, I don't think his predictions are correlated with world events that are happening necessarily, right? But it is interesting to see how his process came about, and how his process was nothing really far from what we do when we plan out our day or plan out our week. It's the same thing, right? So I just thought I'd share that idea that I got recently. I hope you like this video. Hit like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.